Hello, everyone. My name is Daryl Kinsey Jr., and I'm welcoming you to take another lap with the fastest show on IE Sports Radio. Yes, this is the Extra Mile with me and my co-hosts Christopher Lehman and Michael Ward. We talk everything racing from NASCAR to IndyCar to Formula One to limited hydroplanes, endurance racing, the NHRA, and more. So come join us for an hour of great racing talk and a lot of fun as well on the Extra Mile, Thursdays at 8 p.m. only on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is going on, everybody? Hello, listening live here on Spreaker.com/user/IE Sports Radio. This is your direct feed for all that is sports, and you are listening to the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling. It's your boy, the SoCal Saint, and I am here live, coming to you from Fort Worth, Texas. And I don't understand the the weather today. It is wet, cold, and raining. But hey, we got a show to do. The show must go on, so to speak. So I want to thank everyone for joining me. And at the top of the hour, you heard an awesome commercial for the Extra Mile from my boy Daryl Kinsey Jr., fellow alum and fellow member of IE Sports Radio. Check his show out, guys. We got a lot to cover today. We're going to talk about last night's... I thought they did a damn well good show last night. Raw is 30. It was the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. We're going to go ahead and recap the show and go over some of the best segments, some of the not-so-great segments. But overall, I would give the show a solid A. Not an A-, not an A+, but I would give it an A. I was highly entertained throughout the night. I thought they did a good show. I mean, they should have. You need to do a strong show leading into the beginning of the road to WrestleMania, the first stop on the road to WrestleMania, which is this Saturday night. Of course, that is the 36th annual Royal Rumble match. Yes, that's right. The Royal Rumble match comes to you live from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas, this Saturday on January 28th, but we're going to get into that a little later. But I just want to say again, welcome to everyone here live, listening live on IE Sports Radio. I'm so glad to have you guys here. If you're listening live in the chat room, what's up? How's it going, guys? Glad to hear that everyone's doing well. We do have some stuff to talk about. I don't want to start off on a dour note, or a downer note is what I meant to say. But if you follow the wrestling world, this week has been one of tragedy and sadness because we lost a very great wrestler, a very beloved wrestler among the men and women of and of fans, of course. But the overall big picture is that someone lost a brother, someone lost a husband, and two daughters lost their father. Of course, about the unfortunate passing of current Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion Jay Briscoe of the famous Briscoe brothers. He and his brother Mark were in the breaking 13th title reign as Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions after defeating FTR, Cash Wheeler, and Dax Harwood at Final Battle in a dog collar tag team title match that actually placed here in Marcus, upload about less than 30 minutes from Fort Worth and Arlington at the University of Texas at Arlington at their little basketball arena. They had an event. They had a pay-per-view event there for Ring of Honor where that match took place. It happened last week. I believe it happened on the day of my last show, or the day after the show that I did. If I'm not mistaken, it was on January 17th. Jay Briscoe, whose real name is Jamin Pugh. I hope I'm saying that right. If I'm butchering that, my apologies to the Pugh family. But Jamin Pugh, a.k.a. Jay Briscoe, was driving with his two daughters in Laurel, Delaware, which is where he resides. He was driving, and another driver crossed the center lane and hit his vehicle head-on, killing him and the other driver instantly. His daughters, who were in the car with him, also suffered some serious injuries, but we do have an update on their condition. That one of his daughters, I don't have her name at the moment, I do apologize. Let me see if I can pull it up. Here we go. Yes, Gracie, his daughter Gracie, Jay's 12-year-old daughter, who Jay's widow initially feared would be paralyzed because she had a very serious injury to her spine after successful surgery, and I'm sure a lot of errors, and did it all through the good and above. That a miracle has happened, and she has regained the sensation of her legs, and she's able to move them below the knee. So the initial prognosis of her being paralyzed is looking very, very good, that she will not be paralyzed for the rest of her life. Praise be to God on that one, man. Jesus, Lord Jesus on that. God above was watching out for those little girls and her little sister. She was also injured, but not as serious as her sister, Gracie was. So, but they're both still recuperating in the hospital, but they're expected to make full recovery. So that's one that can come out of this ultimately tragic story. Jay Briscoe was only 38 years of age at the time of his death. His birthday, which I just came into knowing, is actually tomorrow. Jacob would have been 39 tomorrow, and tomorrow is a special day in my wife's life because that is our son's 9th birthday tomorrow. My young son Xavier, my awesome, beautiful boy. He is going to be turning 9 years old, and it's crazy that him and Jay Briscoe share the same birthday. And tomorrow is also AEW night. And for the first time since AEW has been on TBS and TNT Turner stations, the higher-ups at Warner Brothers Discovery have since reneged on their initial banning of the Briscoes, which was due to a very long time ago, a controversy that Jay said some rather derogatory things about LGBTQ community. Pretty much is what happened, and everyone will tell you that when he sincerely apologized later on for those remarks that he said so many years ago, so long ago. I mean, it was over 10 years ago now, when he first said those things, that he was a changed man and that he was very much a loving, caring, tolerant, and just all around encompassing, compassionate human being. And it was unfortunate that the Briscoes never got to be on national television because of this stupid ban of the Warner Brothers Discovery executives. But apparently, just before I went live on the air, I was browsing Twitter and getting ready to announce, for everyone to tune in today, that Tony Khan, the owner of AEW, All Elite Wrestling, announced this on his Twitter page. Tomorrow, January 25th, Lexington, Kentucky, live on TBS, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, Wednesday night, AEW Dynamite. Mark Briscoe, the younger brother and former tag team partner of his late brother, Jay. Mark Briscoe, the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champion, will face a very good friend to the family and also a former rival of his brother, Jay Lethal. And it will be for the first time that one of the Briscoes is being allowed on national television to compete in a match. He is doing this match at the request of both Jay Lethal and Mark. Tony Khan was able to get the ban lifted, and Jay Briscoe will be honored on live television tomorrow night, live on TBS during AEW Dynamite, when Mark Briscoe faces Jay Lethal in a match to honor his brother on what would have been his brother's 39th birthday. So, if you guys were not planning, if anybody listening was not planning on watching AEW Dynamite, I suggest you tune in, you set your DVRs, do whatever you can. It's going to be one hell of a match. It's going to be one hell of an emotional match. Mark, only a week removed from losing his brother, is going to step into a ring and honor his brother on his birthday. God be with you, Mark Briscoe, with the Pugh family, with Jay Briscoe's widow and his two young girls. Godspeed, Jay Briscoe. He was a hell of a talent. Like I said, him and his brother, 13-time record-breaking Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions. Jay himself was a former 2-time Ring of Honor World Heavyweight Champion in his own right. He was a hell of a tag team wrestler, a hell of a singles wrestler, and he was just, from what I've been reading about him, with all the tributes done by other wrestlers live on Twitter and all over different forms of social media, he was one hell of a human being. We here, I believe I can speak for everyone here at IE Sports Radio, and I speak for myself, the SoCal Saint, of course, that we send our prayers, our love, and condolences to Jay Briscoe's family. And to Jay Briscoe, Godspeed. Rest in peace.
Hey sports fans, do you like wine? Well, we've got the show for you. This is Let's Wine About Sports, a show where we talk about wine and sports simultaneously. From the classic Cabernet Sauvignon all the way down to the grapes that you've never even heard of before. Oh yeah, we cover it all. And we'll talk about a little bit of sports as well. Football, hockey, collegiate, women's sports, it doesn't matter. We're going to talk about it all, and we're going to whine about it all. So join me Monday at 8 p.m. on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hey everybody, welcome back. That was Let's Whine About Sports, another great show on the IE Sports Radio Network. Check them out, guys. If you're just tuning in, I just did a little bit of a tribute talking about the late, great Jay Briscoe, who recently passed away last week. And if you want to see a tribute to the late, great Jay Briscoe, tune in tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite, as his brother Mark Briscoe will be live on AEW Dynamite competing in a match as a tribute to his brother on what would have been his brother's 39th birthday. He will be competing against former Ring of Honor World Champion and friend and rival of Jay Briscoe, Jay Lethal. That's going to be live tomorrow night on AEW Dynamite. So check that out. And just so we're going to get back into some stuff here. We're going to talk about what happened last night on Monday Night Raw. Of course, Monday Night Raw was live from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, the former home of the legendary Extreme promotion ECW. It is 30. That's right. It was the 30th anniversary of Monday Night Raw. I cannot believe Raw has been on for 30 years. I'm turning 36 next Monday. It's insane to think that I was 6 years old when Raw started, because I didn't start watching Raw religiously until I think I was in 6th grade around that time, maybe 5th or 6th grade. So I had to have been at least 9 or 10 years old before I actually ever started watching Raw on a regular basis. And now I'm in my late 30s, and Raw is still going strong. That is, I've seen a lot of superstars come and go. I've seen a lot of great episodes of Raw. I've seen a lot of bad ones, but I've been there through it all for the most part. And last night was definitely one of the better ones. I'd say they put on a hell of a show. Triple H and company, WWE, they did their thing last night. And we're going to review some of that stuff right now. So the show started off really hot, I would say. The show started off on a very strong point. It kicked with the Bloodline, the Tribal Chief, the head of the table, the undisputed Universal Heavyweight Champion, Roman Reigns, the undisputed World Tag Team Champions, the Usos, their brother, the Enforcer, Solo Sikoa, the Wise Man, Paul Heyman, and himself, Sami Zayn. It started off with, of course, the trial of Sami Zayn. If you caught my update on Twitter yesterday, if you're following me, that's at SoCalSaint.com. Excuse me, what the hell am I saying? It's at SoCal Saint. That is my Twitter handle. And on Twitter, I'm at SoCal Saint. Yeah, that was a mouthful. If you caught my update yesterday, if you're following me on Twitter, I updated what was supposed to be the Bloodline acknowledgement ceremony. It was supposed to have, basically, it was supposed to be the whole, so the Onawai family was supposed to show up. Rikishi was scheduled to be there, who, of course, the father to Solo Sikoa and Jimmy and Jey Uso. Alpha Sika, and Alpha is the father of Roman Reigns. Alpha and Sika, of course, are better known to wrestling fans as the Wild Samoans from way back in the day during Hulk Hogan's time. They were a tag team, the Wild Samoans. They were all supposed to appear to have this acknowledgement ceremony for Roman. Last minute, apparently, Rikishi was ill, and I think Alpha and Sika couldn't find. I think they were ill too. I think that's what it was. I think they all just caught a bug or something, so neither of them could come out. So WWE switched it around, and now we were left with this segment, the trial of Sami Zayn, and man, was it great! It was fantastic. Paul Heyman, of course, he is a magic on the mic. Paul Heyman has always been a master of the mic. Anytime the microphone is in Paul Heyman's hands, it's pretty much gold. You know what I mean? He knows what he's doing. He's been in the business long enough to know what the hell he's doing, and it shows, okay? Like, if anybody is wanting to get into professional wrestling, you need to sit under the learning tree of Paul Heyman and take notes, especially when it comes to taking promos, because I don't think anybody outside of anybody that's not a professional wrestler, I don't think there's anybody in this business that does better promos than Paul Heyman that's not a professional wrestler. In terms of speaking of, like, wrestlers who are great promos, The Rock, of course, Stone Cold Steve Austin, the legends, to name a few, that are great talkers. LA Knight, he's one of the newbies, but he's a great talker. But more on that later. But anyway, so Paul Heyman, the wise man himself, was the prosecution, accusing Sami Zayn of being a Judas, being a rat, being a turncoat to the bloodline, trying to undermine the authority of Roman Reigns, and trying to basically help Kevin Owens defeat Roman Reigns this coming Saturday night at the Royal Rumble. Roman found him guilty, or damn near feels that way, because he sicked Solo on Sami, and Sami was about to take a Samoan spike to the throat until, of all people, Jey Uso, the one man who at the beginning of all this, Sami Zayn trying to become a member of the bloodline, when all this started 9 months ago, Jey was the one member of the bloodline that was absolutely, positively not trusting Sami Zayn whatsoever. But Jey Uso, of all people, came to the defense of Sami Zayn with a video of his own showing all the moments where Sami Zayn, quote-unquote, took a bullet for the bloodline. Chair shots from Drew McIntyre. A Claymore kick from Drew McIntyre that was meant for Roman. Kicking Kevin Owens with the hula kick, leaving him prone and ready for a Uso splash for the victory that they gained at the War Games at Survivor Series this past November. All those instances showing Sami Zayn's loyalty. And with that, Roman found Sami not guilty of treason to the bloodline for now. He was very clear to say for now when he mentioned that. Excuse me while I take a drink of water. And then with that, it led into the first match of the night, which was the Usos, Jimmy and Jay, defending the Raw Tag Team titles, not both Tag Team titles, not the Raw and SmackDown titles as undisputed, but just the Raw Tag Team title belts against the Judgment Days, Dominic Mysterio and Damian Priest. The match was hot. This crowd was hot for this match, and they were definitely behind Jimmy and Jey Uso during this match. And then it was after Jimmy took a suicide dive to the outside onto Damian Priest when he attempted to get up. It looked like he had hurt his knee or his ankle or something, and they called for referees to come grab and walk him to the back. And here comes WWE official Adam Pearce, basically saying if Jimmy cannot compete, the Usos forfeit this match, and in turn, they forfeit the Raw Tag Team titles to the Judgment Day. Sammy stepped up and said, "Let me defend the titles with Jay." And they cut to a scene of Solo, Paul Heyman, and Roman Reigns all watching this on the monitor from their locker room. And Sammy and Jay did their thing. And after hitting a 1D on Dominic Mysterio, Sammy covered him. 1, 2, 3. Sammy Uso and Jey Uso defeated the Judgment Day to retain the Raw Tag Team titles for the Bloodline. So the Bloodline's winning ways continue. That was the first match of the night. And that was definitely an A+++ on that. That was a fantastic match. This big card that was announced last week was a steel cage between leader of Damage Control Bayley and the man Becky Lynch. But this match never happened. When Becky made her way to the ring, she was ambushed basically by Damage Control, by Dakota Kai and Io Sky and Bayley. All three of them just basically mollywopped Becky Lynch, dragged her into the ring and locked the door and just put a beat down on her. And whenever WWE official Adam Pearce once again showed up to try and unlock the gate to get to them to stop this this beatdown from happening. It was already too late. Becky had already gotten beat down, and Bayley, Io Sky, and Dakota Kai took their exit by climbing up and out of the cage and exiting to the back. And I know a lot of people online are really upset that this match basically got canceled. And the unfortunate reason why this happened was simply because of time. Apparently, the opening segment, the trial of Sami Zayn, just went a little too long, and due to time constraints, Triple H had to make the call that they were going to cancel the cage match, basically, which was unfortunate because I'm sure a lot of people were hot for that match. I was really excited to see that match, so that was definitely one of the thumbs down moments for Raw last night. Was definitely the unfortunate cancellation of what could have been a hell of a match between Bayley and Becky Lynch inside of a steel cage. So that was definitely an unfortunate side effect of the awesome opening segment of the Zayn. And throughout the night, you saw the appearance of awesome former Raw superstars and legends. Medusa, former WWE Women's Champion, a.k.a. Alundra Blaze. She was on hand for last night's festivities. Diamond Dallas Page, DDP, bang! He was there as well during a segment playing poker in the APA office with JBL, and The Godfather was there. Of course, Ron Simmons was there playing poker. Damn! And I'm trying to think who else popped up in that segment. Those are the only ones that really stood out to me. I totally forgot to mention that Raw kicked off, actually, before the trial of Sami Zayn started. Jimmy Hart and WWE Hall of Famer, the immortal Hulk Hogan, walked out and did an intro, or attempted to do an intro to Monday Night Raw, but Hogan's mic wasn't working. It kept cutting in and out, and you could actually see a stagehand run from the gorilla position, and Hogan just keeps talking, but you could see him like trying to hand him a new mic. That shit was funny. Everything that Hogan said, we heard on television, but I don't think anybody in the arena heard anything that Hogan said except the last thing he said, which was like, "What you gonna do when Raw runs wild on you, brother?" Oh, man. Live TV, you gotta love it, right? Then we had a segment. It was the reunion of DX. Of course, Sean Waltman, a.k.a. X-Pac, the Heartbreak Kid, Shawn Michaels, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, and the Game, Triple H. And somebody was walking behind them. I didn't notice it at first until they were in the ring, but it was fucking Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle just kind of hung in the back. They didn't even notice he was there at first until they got in the ring. They're like, "What the hell is Kurt doing here?" And Kurt unzips his jacket to show, like, "Hey, I always wanted to be a member of DX." And just Kurt being like his goofy old dorky self from way back in the day, wanting to be a member of DX. And apparently they allowed him to be a member just for tonight, or just for last night. And then Imperium shows up to break up the festivities of the D-Generation X crew. Imperium, of course, that is Gunther, the Intercontinental Champion, and his cohorts, Kaiser and Vinci? Is that how you say his name? Vinci? Show to spoil all the DX fun. But then out comes Seth freaking Rollins and the Street Profits, and we get an impromptu match announced by, of course, Teddy Long, which was awesome when he came out dancing, and he goes, let me talk to you for a minute, player. We're going to have a 6-man tag team match, player. Holla, holla. Yeah, it was good seeing Teddy Long out there announcing a tag team match. It would have been fun to hear him say, you're going to go 1-on-1 with The Undertaker. One more time. Oh, man. Good times, guys. Good times. Anyway, they had a decent 6-man tag team match between Seth Rollins, the Street Profits, and Imperium. Good match. Everybody in that match, of course, was talented. And the cool thing about that match, too, Kurt Angle stuck around and was the special guest referee for that match with a very neat-looking red, white, and blue striped referee t-shirt on, of course. The American hero himself. It's true. It's damn true. So Raw, for the most part, has been very, very entertaining up until this point. And we get a segment with the SmackDown Women's Champion, Flair, coming out. And then the Raw Women's Champion, Bianca Belair, coming out. And it's like the two women's champions acknowledging each other, the great former female superstars that paved the way for them to be in the spot that they're in today. Out comes Sonya Deville, and we get an impromptu match between Sonya Deville and Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair, and Bianca Belair gets the victory. And then it's time for for some reason, it is out there, basically that to let us know that Kevin Owens is coming for Roman Reigns, because that's all they use the Miz was out there, out Kevin Owens, and boom, he gets stunnered, and basically it was to send a message to Roman that, hey, Kevin Owens has got your number this Saturday night at the Royal Rumble. And the main event was a no disqualification match for the WWE United States Championship. It was Austin Theory defending the WWE United States title against Bobby Lashley, the almighty Bobby Lashley. And this match was pretty good. They were bringing out the fire extinguishers. They got some tables out. Theory got spine busted through the table, and what we thought was about to be the end of this match. And then here comes the Beast Incarnate out of nowhere. He was not announced to be there. I was not expecting him to be there. I honestly was not. But there he was, the next big thing. Brock Lesnar showed up at the end of that match and hits an F5 on Bobby Lashley, and then an F5 on Austin Theory, but where he F5'd Austin Theory onto Bobby Lashley, and the referee counts 1, 2, 3. Austin Theory is still the United States champion, and Bobby Lashley definitely will want to be seeking revenge against Brock Lesnar. I don't know what that means, if a match will be announced between the two of them at the Rumble, or if Brock is intending to enter the Royal Rumble match again, like he did last year, which I hope not, but we shall see. But Bobby Lashley, who thought he was about to win the United States title, had it stripped away from him by the Beast Incarnate, Brock Lesnar. And that's how Raw went off the air. That was the end of the night. It was a very entertaining show, like I said, except for that little setback, the cage match having to be canceled due to time constraints, which is unfortunate. But like I said, it is live TV. Things like this happen, and they got to roll with the punches. They got to roll with the punches. They just got to, go from A to B. They got to figure out how to get there. If they got to change things up to get there, that's what they have to do. And that's unfortunately what happened. But yeah, so it's very entertaining. Raw is 30. If you didn't watch it, if you subscribe to Peacock, the streaming service Peacock, which has the WWE video library on there. Also, if you subscribe to Hulu, I think Hulu still has replays of Raw and SmackDown on there, if I'm not mistaken. I could be wrong, but I'll look into that and get you guys a definite answer at some point. But as far as I knew, they still did that. So if you happen to not see the show last night live, you can always watch the replay on Hulu or on Peacock. They always put the episodes on there about like a week or two later or something like that. You can always catch it then. It was an entertaining show. Definitely, like I said, I'd probably give it a solid A. With that, guys, we'll be back. We're going to take a short little break again here from one of our other members of our IE Sports Radio family. And then we'll be back to talk about this coming Saturday night, the big event itself, the 36th Annual Royal Rumble. The road to WrestleMania begins when we get back. Stay tuned, guys.
From Russell's return to great division rivalries to young quarterback battles, what better way way to wind down the first day of the new work week than with USRN's Monday Night Football. Season premieres September 12th on USRN.
What's good, fight fans? It's your boy, Marcus Los Great, here to give you what you want, here to give you what you need. Yeah, man. Yeah. I'm coming to you live, straight from your mama's basement with a crispy, awesome white tea. They're coming to you live every Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Powered by IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
What is up, guys? Welcome back. If you're just tuning in live to the IE Elite Wrestling Show, it's your boy, the SoCal Saint. I just want to give a shout out to two people that are in the chat room that I see now. I don't know if he's still in the chat room, but shout out to Taryn Rodriguez, member of IE Sports Radio, and of course the head honcho of IE Sports Radio, my boy from P-Town down, y'all. P-Town, Paris, baby. That's what's up. Larry B, what's going on, bros? And anybody else that's listening live, I do appreciate the love and support. IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. And this is the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling. You see how I twisted it a little bit, Larry? I know you listen. You see how I twisted it a little bit? That's how we do, man. That's how I do it. You know, you see, you made something hot. I just turn up the temperature just a little bit. Because I'm the SoCal Saint. It's what I do. And what we're about to do is talk about the big event that is coming this Saturday night, live from the Alamo Dome in San Antonio, Texas. It is the 36th annual Royal Rumble match. Are you ready? Are you ready? Let's get ready to rumble! I need some like claps or something. Yeah, there we go. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Yes. I'll pat myself on the back on that one. Thank you. That was a very good Michael Buffer impression, if I do say so myself. Anyone that disputes that can just suck it. See, look, I took it back to Raw 30, DX style. Anyway, it is the 36th annual Royal Rumble event. This is the start of WrestleMania season, guys. The road to WrestleMania begins this Saturday night. And we got some matches to talk about. I will admit, nothing really has changed match-wise because this is going to be a big event. They got 2 Royal Rumble matches that usually go more than an hour each. So that's going to be a lot of time taken up by just those 2 matches alone. And not everyone is going to be announced for that because the fun of the Royal Rumble matches is all the surprises that come with it. So hopefully we get some good ones this year, which I'm really hoping for. But the matches that are announced so far, of course. Oh, wow. How could I totally breeze over what happened on Raw 30 last night? I do apologize, fans. One other cool segment that happened last night on Raw 30 was the return of the American Badass version of The Undertaker. Yes, LA Knight was out there he called out any legend in the back to come out and confront him to get a preview of what he plans to do to Bray Wyatt in their match at the Royal Rumble. And we get the gong of the Undertaker, which we're thinking it's the dead man coming, right? No. After the gongs went off a couple times, it was silence, and then all of a sudden you hear the strings of Metallica's "Sad But True," and then you hear Kid Rock, "I am American Badass." Undertaker hasn't used that theme since the year 2000, and it's 2023 now, so 23 years later, out comes the Undertaker to American Badass as the American Badass version of the Undertaker on his motorcycle, riding down the ring, and he confronted LA Knight, setting him up. It looked like he was about to give him a chokeslam, and then all he did was push him off into the arms of Bray Wyatt, who hit Sister Abigail, laying out LA Knight. And it was an awesome, legendary moment to see Bray Wyatt and Undertaker come face to face for the first time since their match at WrestleMania 31. It was an awesome thing to see last night on Raw is 30. But that, like I said, that leads me into the match that's happening at the Royal Rumble this Saturday night. It will be the Mountain Dew Pitch Black match. Bray Wyatt goes one-on-one with L.A. Knight. Yeah! I don't know what this match is going to be. I honestly think this is going to be one of those cinematic type of matches, like I've stated in the last 2 episodes. I feel like I'm repeating myself, but that's what I believe. I really can't fathom that this match is taking place in front of the live audience. Or maybe part of it will, and then the rest of it will be cinematic. Who knows? It's not the first time WWE's done that, and it probably won't be the last. So, I don't know what to expect. I'm in the dark just like you guys. They're keeping a lot of the ideas under wraps because I have not seen anything leaked about exactly what this match is going to be like. So, we're all going to find out together when we all watch the Royal Rumble this Saturday night live on Peacock. Next match on the card is for the Raw Women's Championship. Alexa Bliss challenges the reigning, defending Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair. She is the EST of WWE. And this little change with Alexa Bliss, it seems like the return of Bray Wyatt is causing the psyche of Alexa Bliss to just take a turn for the worse. Lately, little things have been happening to Alexa Bliss, like Bray Wyatt's new logo, that upside down firefly, will pop up, and then she just loses her mind. She just snaps. She just turns into somebody else, and she attacks Bianca. I think she broke a vase over her head on one segment, and she just attacked Bianca, about to hit her with a Sister Abigail. And then the presence of Uncle Howdy, whoever the hell that is haunting Bray Wyatt, is now haunting Alexa Bliss. It's all very spooky, whatever. So I don't know what's going to happen in their match at the Royal Rumble. If Alexa Bliss goes full Bray Wyatt on us and turns into the crazy, out of control version of herself that she was a couple years back, who knows? But tune in and find out this Saturday. Also, for the undisputed WWE Universal Championship, Kevin Owens challenges the reigning, let me do this in Paul Heyman's voice, the reigning, defending, undisputed, head of the table, my tribal chief, Roman Reigns. That's right. Roman Reigns defends the title against Kevin Owens. These two men have had, this will be the third title match these two have had at a Royal Rumble event. In 2017, Kevin Owens was Universal Champion and successfully defended his title against Roman at the Royal Rumble. In 2021, the roles were reversed, and Roman was the defending Universal Champion, and he defeated Kevin Owens in a last man standing match. And then, now, we come to this Saturday night in a one-on-one match for the undisputed Universal Championship. Roman and Kevin Owens, they are both 1-1 apiece. This is the tiebreaker. This is the rubber match. Who's going to head to WrestleMania as champion? And then, of course, who is going to be challenging the champions of WWE when we tried to crown the winners of the Royal Rumble matches for the 30 women Royal Rumble match. These are the so far announced members of the match. Only 7 out of 30 entrants have been announced for the women's Royal Rumble match so far. On the SmackDown side of things, Liv Morgan, Raquel Rodriguez, Shayna Baszler, Zelina Vega, and Emma have all announced their spots into the women's Royal Rumble match. And on the Raw side of things, Candice LeRae and Judgment Day's Rhea Ripley have announced their entrancy into the women's Royal Rumble match. And whoever wins this match will get to challenge either the Raw or SmackDown Women's Champion for the championship at WrestleMania. So who knows? Last year's winner was, of course, Rowdy Ronda Rousey, and she ended up challenging Charlotte here in Dallas, Texas, for the title unsuccessfully, but she had a guaranteed main event slot saved for her at WrestleMania, and that's what winning this match will do to whichever lucky lady is the one to outlast 29 other combatants in the Women's Royal Rumble match. And on the men's side of things, the men's Royal Rumble match, the winner of this match will face, I assume, the undisputed Universal Champion. So both titles will be defended as one entity like they have been, far as I know, unless something crazy happens and the titles either get separated before WrestleMania or Roman's going to have to pull double duty since WrestleMania is 2 nights again this year in SoFi Stadium in Los Angeles, California. And so far, 15 of the 30 entrants. So at least we know half of the scoreboard for the Royal Rumble. We got half of the entrants already listed. So 15 out of 30 have already been announced. On the SmackDown side of things, we have NXT Tag Team Champion Kofi Kingston, leader of Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Ricochet, Rey Mysterio, the Intercontinental Champion, Gunther, Drew McIntyre, Sheamus, Braun Strowman, and Karrion Kross. And on the Raw side of things, we have the still WWE United States Champion Austin Theory, Seth freaking Rollins, the almighty Bobby Lashley, Baron Corbin, Omos, and returning from injury from that torn bicep. If you still haven't watched that Hell in a Cell match between Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins from Hell in a Cell last June, where he had that torn pectoral and I think it was torn pectoral or torn bicep, one of the two. I can't remember which one it was. If you still haven't watched that match, you need to watch that match. I'm sure. I believe that match is. You can find it on WWE's YouTube channel and watch it for free if you don't want to subscribe to Peacock. But why don't you? It's only $5 a month. I've said this every episode. Anyway, the return of the American Nightmare and my pick for the winner of the Royal Rumble match this year, Cody Rhodes. Cody is gonna do it. Cody is going to win the Royal Rumble. He's going to go to WrestleMania, and he's going to dethrone the Tribal Chief. And he's going to have the title that has eluded his family their entire lives, the WWE Championship. It's a story that writes itself, people. This isn't math. This isn't rocket science. This writes itself. Live on Peacock. If you're international, it's live on the WWE Network, because I believe the WWE Network is still a separate entity in international markets. It is the 36th annual Royal Rumble this Saturday night, live from San Antonio's Alamo Dome. The road to WrestleMania begins, guys. I cannot wait. This is the best time of the year. My son's turning 9 tomorrow. The Royal Rumble's this Saturday. And you got and you got the road to WrestleMania to look forward to. I am one happy father. I'm one happy camper. I cannot wait. I'm one eager, excited wrestling fan. This is the time of year where all eyes are on the product, all eyes are on WWE to pull out a fantastic and great, entertaining road to WrestleMania. And this, if it remains this way because of all the stupid shit going on with Vince outside of company, with the sale and whatever, with his stupid return, as long as this stays Triple H's thing, and Triple H is still head of creative, this is going to be the first WrestleMania booked by someone other than Vince. Triple H has got full creative power. He's the one. He's in charge. He's the head of creative. And you got to believe that Triple H is going to go balls to the wall booking his first WrestleMania. He has to. So I'm excited. I am very, very excited to what the months and what this Saturday and the months going forward will lead to April 1st and April 2nd. WrestleMania Goes Hollywood, live in Los Angeles, California at the SoFi Stadium. I cannot wait.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris is the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
Well, that's it, guys. That's the show. Thank you for tuning in to another awesome live edition of the IE Elite Wrestling Show, your direct feed for all that is professional wrestling, live on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I am the SoCal Saint. You can follow me at SoCal Saint on Twitter. Follow IE Sports Radio at IE Sports Radio. And guys, thank you so much for tuning in again. If you're listening live, I do appreciate it. Much, much, much appreciated. If you're listening on the download, also much appreciated because you took the time to say, hey, I didn't catch it live, but I'll still listen to them. So for that, the SoCal Saint obliges and approves. So, guys, thank you. I will see you guys live on Twitter because I'm going to be watching the Royal Rumble. I'll be trying to tweet as much as I can during the show, as much as I can. So just be on the lookout. Follow me on Twitter. Again, that's at SoCal Saint. This Saturday night, don't forget, the Royal Rumble, live, San Antonio, Texas, Alamo Dome, live on Peacock, international markets on the WWE Network still. And tomorrow, do yourself a favor and check out AEW Dynamite for the tribute match to one Jay Briscoe, Mark Briscoe versus Jay Lethal, live on AEW Dynamite tomorrow night. Rest in peace, Jay Briscoe. Rest in peace. Condolences and prayers to the family of Jay Briscoe. Wrestling fans, sometimes we can be a stubborn bunch, but when something tragic happens, we come together like family. It never fails. Stay golden, guys.